What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fit, Healthy, and most of all Happy podcast. I'm your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach, KG, and I'm in the house.
And this is going to be a really fun episode. Today, we're going to be reacting to the internet's top weight loss tips, the good, the bad, the ugly. So there was actually a thread on Reddit saying, what is your number one weight loss tip? And I actually just added like 10 of them, pretty much in order of like the most upvoted. So the ones that were most reacted to. I think some of these are phenomenal. Some of these are questionable and some of these are just ridiculous. So I think it'll be a really fun time diving into it, talking a little bit of weight loss. And obviously, as experts in this field, as online fitness coaches, with over 5,000 transformations as a team, we'll be able to give you some great responses to all of these. So really happy to jump into it. And the first comment, and I actually was amazed that the internet, which can be a little bit silly, can be outlandish, can be ridiculous. The first comment was actually phenomenal in my opinion. And that was to take a real audit of everything you're eating in a typical day. So everything, not just meals, but drinks and snacking. Identify easy places you can cut calories. I started measuring my ice cream I was adding to my coffee. The amount was half. It contributed like 20% of my calories, dressing, snacks, soda, all that different stuff. And this is actually how I started my weight loss journey. So I think this is great. If you consider how much the average person has in fluff in each day, it's ridiculous. And one thing I'll recommend to people that are very obese or they just want to begin with something, I'm like, just cut out the extra junk, like the liquid calories in particular, especially people that aren't aware on top of their fitness. It's very common for them to have orange juice with breakfast, have a couple full sugar Cokes during the day, and just a ton of cream and crazy amounts of stuff like that in their calories. Like, this can add up. And even one of the comments there, like I said, cream, half and half someone was using. They were putting so much in their coffee. It was 20% of their daily calories. They cut that out and they made room of 20%. That's a sizable deficit that can actually cause you to lose weight. So once you start to take an audit of what you're having and you aim to cut out the crap and fill it instead with better, high quality things, it's an amazing, amazing pivot. Even just simple things like moving juice to water, you can save a ridiculous amount of calories. And I've had clients come in that would have like 8 Cokes a day, which is like almost 800 calories a pop a day. You clear that out and they were just shredding alone as is. So it's really amazing sometimes if you look at the things you've just done because you've always done it and you start to move to switch them to healthier things, the amazing change that can come from it. So for this first one, definitely something I would recommend.
Yeah, number 2, simply, I'm amazed and love this one. Calorie deficit, but prioritize protein and fiber. This one is fantastic. It's amazing how much was said in such few words here and how great the value is from this comment. I wish I could screen this one from the rooftops and just have everyone hear it, because a lot of people try to argue calorie deficits. A lot of people try to out-exercise a bad diet. Like, there's a lot of people struggling just from simply not following this great principle of just being in a calorie deficit, eating less than you're burning per day / per week and consistently. But I really like that this person also mentioned prioritizing protein and fiber, because I do see some people tracking their food, trying to eat better, but their intake of protein is just so low. And protein is obviously going to be the nutrient that's going to help you lose fat, help you become more fuller, and even same with fiber. It's going to have so many amazing benefits as well. So this alone, like if I were to just give you a simple nutrition hack, like non-workout related, would just be to be in a calorie deficit, eat more protein, hit more fiber per day. And that alone is just going to be you eating better foods, right? It's going to be you having more veggies to hit your fiber. It's going to be having you eat more lean meat or like protein, whatever it is that you decide to have to help boost your protein. It's such a great tip, and I know for a fact it can change so many people's game if they just simply follow it.
And what was funny is one of the responses in a comment was in all caps, but calorie deficits don't work for everybody. And then they put in brackets, it only works for people who abide by the laws of thermodynamics. So it's like a kind of a running meme that people will say calorie deficits don't work for them. And the reality is if it doesn't work for you, it's because you're not actually in a deficit. So either you're logging in correctly, you don't have the right output, you have the wrong intake, outtake. Like, it comes down to CICO, calories in for calorie out. And that's where we've talked in the past about like nutritional hierarchy hierarchy of importance. Calories are super, super important. Right above that is protein, because protein is going to help you stay more full. It's going to help you put on muscle. It's going to help you maintain muscle while you lose fat. It's going to help you lose fat. And then fiber is a really great catch-all to actually improve food quality, because if you're eating foods that are more fibrous, they're going to be more filling, and it's going to make it easier to abide to that diet, which is absolutely amazing. It's also going to help with digestion, among numerous other things. So I love that additional comment of the protein and fiber. The third one is definitely one of the ugly ones, if you will, and that was drink the water in Cancun. I lost 22 pounds in 4 days with this simple trick. So this I would definitely not recommend as something to do, and that is absolutely horrible. And when you go through something really bad like this, so food poisoning, water on a vacation that was bad, it's really hard. It runs through your system, and it actually is amazing when you consider how much of your body is water. When you lose a lot of that and you're really sick, or maybe you've been up sick for a long time, it's really important you begin to rehydrate, because this, you're not actually losing fat. Most often you're just actually losing bodily fluids, and that's where it's really important you rehydrate after that by having a lot of water, a lot of salt, a lot of good food. So this is definitely a silly one, and not one I would recommend as a weight loss strategy.
Yeah, next up here we have portion control. A lot of comments here say to eat less, but few are explaining how. You don't need to skip meals or change the food you eat. You just need to eat less of it. Portion control is the way to do this. Stop eating a whole bag of chips. Have 1 scoop of ice cream instead of 3. So this is great. And actually, to me, this is one of the easiest ways to start to eat less, be in a deficit without feeling like you're doing anything drastic. So even for me, like if I were to start like a heavy shred from like being more at maintenance, I would just take everything that I'm having and just like simplify it a little bit, right? So if my Greek yogurt bowl is 650 calories in the morning, maybe I would put a little bit less granola, maybe a little bit less seeds, and a little bit less honey, turn it into 450 calories or 400 calories, whatever the case is. This alone makes such a big difference, because you can always control your portion. And it's also a very helpful tip, especially for those of you who are on the go a lot, or you're like going to different festivities where it's like always challenging and people are pushing food on you, or whatever the case is. Just know you always have control of your portion and how much you decide to eat. Even if you happen to go out to eat and there's just a massive meal, you could cut that in two. You could take a takeout container and have the rest for lunch tomorrow. Like, you always have control of your portion, and this alone can make such a big difference, and I promise will change the game for a lot of you.
Now, before we go into our fifth tip, which is another funny one, so you're definitely going to make sure to hear that. If you want to learn how to lose fat guaranteed and have that broken down, we actually spent $400 paying a designer. Kyle spent countless hours and days actually prepping a full fat loss guide, and it is absolutely phenomenal. The response has been amazing to it. So we gave it away on 2 previous episodes. We're going to give it away one last time. After this, it is possible we may start charging for it, because it is so good and it breaks down exactly what you need to lose fat. So we will give this to you totally free, no exceptions. Just DM us on Instagram with the keyword fat loss, and we'll shoot that over to you, because there's too much nonsense out there, and we really want to lay out exactly what you need to focus on to actually lose fat and see success. So once again, our Instagram is at Colossusfit, COLOSSUSFIT, and just shoot us a DM saying fat loss, and we will get that sent right over to you. But the fifth one is pretty funny, and that is get heartbroken. Not that it's funny to get heartbroken, but in general, I do notice that when people get heartbroken, they usually go one of 2 ways. They either really lock into their fitness, or they lose their appetite, or whatever it may be. It can be a really interesting, pivotal time. But one thing I like to challenge my clients with is, when something extreme like this happens, if it's not fun, and you can sit and you can ruminate in the pain of that, or you can use that as a catalyst to build momentum and use that as an opportunity to build new momentum, have a fresh start, get excited towards fitness and health. And one funny response someone had, because a lot of people said this is what worked for me, was getting heartbroken, but someone said instructions unclear, ate all the ice cream. So that's exactly what you want to avoid, because when you're feeling bad, it's funny how we naturally try to go to things that comfort us and we think will immediately make us feel better, that will just make it worse, and they'll cause that snowball to be negative. So instead, something horrible happens, or even sometimes not even, doesn't need to be horrible, use these catalysts to rebuild new momentum and go in a right direction.
Yeah, number 6 here is absolutely stop drinking for those who drink. I truly believe that cutting out alcohol can be one of the biggest game changers for so many people. And the thing is, it's often not just the alcohol. Like, first of all, of course, empty calories, and it just does nothing good for you. But it's also the result of that as well, which could be skipping workouts, which could be like, obviously, if you do get hungover, or you're just having too much, like the next day you'll not be feeling great. And even just in general, like the foods that are consumed from having it, I've seen it happen so often. So like one of my biggest tips for people who are just consistently consuming like a couple drinks, even like if you're just having a couple drinks a day, like whatever the case is, however much you're having, this alone can make such a big difference. To cut it out, just say, you know what, I'm going to do a period of my life with no alcohol. You'll start to feel so much better, and it's every area of your life starts to improve as well. So I do believe this can be great for most people, and it's something I recommend trying out for sure.
This is a big one because, like Kyle said, not only do a lot of people actually get a ton of calories from alcohol, alcohol is an anti-nutrient, so it actually takes nutrients from your body, right? Your body's going to work to get rid of that poison, which is never a positive. On top of that, it usually leads to poor decisions with overeating at night, and especially it can lead to poor decisions with sleep. So if you're losing sleep, you're losing recovery. The next day that snowballs, and most generally, if you are someone who drinks like fairly regularly or quite heavily, restricting that, really bringing that down or cutting it out altogether will be a really fast track to losing weight. And it is unfortunate. I know people that drink quite heavy and they end up eating and they end up in this tough cycle where they get a little bit stuck, and it can be hard and emotional to get rid of it. But if you do find you're struggling with it, that is something you definitely want to identify and aim to remove. But the next tip we have here is, whatever you do, no drastic diets, please. Just healthy alternatives, one change at a time. And I was really proud, honestly, to see this this thread because, like I said, I expected a lot of nonsense. There were some deeper down, but they definitely weren't as upvoted as these. And really just seeing the position more towards sustainability. There wasn't any talk of keto. There wasn't any talk of these quick fixes or special supplements. And if anything, it's great knowing that the hive mind, that is internet, is starting to become more receptive to quality fitness information and really just aiming to make healthy alternatives, look to more sustainable long-term changes, because ultimately that's what will stick. Any short-term change will just be exactly that. It will be short-term. It's not going to stick. It's not going to work long-term. So you don't want to do these drastic, crazy diets where you starve yourself or anything like that. Instead, you want to move to make healthier, more sustainable decisions that will actually move you forward. And we cover all that in that ebook. So please make sure you grab that.
Yeah, next up we have the most effective change is the one you can commit to. That's why most New Year's plans are disasters. People commit themselves to 1,000 things under the sun. So this is so true. It's so easy to be like super ambitious, and nothing wrong with that, but just like overcommit, which will then lead to failure and not being able to stick to something. So that's why I always recommend starting with one foot in front of the other, one thing at a time. Just build up the habit, and that alone will get you started, and you'll be able to see continued success. But especially with this example of New Year's, like too many people will set 48 different things that they want to accomplish in the first month. You check in, you've done like none of it because there's just too much. And even like when some people start their fitness journey, they're like, I want to go to the gym 7 times a week, 2 hours a day, or just like never eat a fun food and only eat clean. These things often lead to disasters, which I'm really, really proud of these comments, similar to what Josh just said, because I was expecting a lot worse. And this alone like is such a great tip because most people don't follow this, right? They just overcommit and they just end up struggling and going backwards because they feel like a failure. So this alone, I give this one a really positive remark for this comment here.
I stand behind that one too, right? Just commit to what matters, block out the noise. Next tip was a good one as well. I want to spend some time talking on this one, and it was, don't trust weight loss tips from strangers on the internet. Recovering from an eating disorder, and this made me so sad to read. People need to stop, just freaking stop. So this is hard because I think, once again, weight loss is so finicky, and I can understand where it can get tough and how people can, especially with more dramatic things, as you saw above, really push towards eating disorders, unhealthy behaviors, unhealthy body image. Like, there's definitely a dark side to it. But if you focus, like we said, at the core of it on making sustainable, actionable moves forward. So we really preach 80-20, for example. I'm not going to tell you can never eat unhealthy again. Once again, Kyle loves things like ice cream. I love pastas and all that great stuff. And I'll aim to eat 80% really good, amazing foods that are going to push me forward. But I give myself that grace. Should I want to have something fun, like a peanut butter cookie or something, I can fit it in there and have that balance and do that totally guilt-free. Eating disorders come up when people push these drastic measures and they say, I'm never having ice cream again. It's the problem. Like if Kyle said that, and then the odd day he slips up, he has one and he goes, that was so good, I'm gonna have more. Then he goes to the grocery store and eats a whole tub, and then before he knows it, he's like, what did I do? That's what you want to avoid. And you can avoid that by being sustainable, being patient with yourself, understanding that this is an ongoing journey. It's not a short-term journey. And what's so hard too is I feel like people will do these extremes, or they'll take half measures, or they'll look at it from the wrong light, and they'll unfortunately get hurt from this, like this individual, and they'll go on this whole other negative tirade where it's like, you shouldn't even worry about your health or your fitness. It's not good because I had an eating disorder. And I feel for that individual because it is hard, right? And clearly something went very awry there and was very tough. But at the same time, we know being fit, we know being healthy is so important. We know maintaining a healthy weight is immensely important. And it's crazy. Even I was reading, because I have a history of Alzheimer's in my family, and I'm just the catalyst that can come from not eating healthy, being overweight, the catalyst that can come for that towards diabetes, towards cancers. It's not pretty to say, but that's where being healthy, being in a good body weight, filling your body with good food, exercising, like these aren't negotiables, and these are things that need to be done, but they need to be done in a healthy way. And I think there is some truth in this comment too, though, that you want to be careful who you trust and what you listen to. If someone seems like they're selling you snake oil, if you just take their special supplement, everything's going to be better. You're going to have better gut health, and that's going to fix your eating, and there'll be no drawbacks, and you're going to magically look amazing and dance into the sunset. Like, you're already positioning yourself to fail, because you're going to fail with that. You're going to think it's impossible. You're going to move over to this camp. So go about it the right way. And once again, I have nothing to gain from this. I literally want to give you a free ebook we spent money to make. So if anything, I'm losing, but we really just break down like the importance of it, what matters, what doesn't, how to walk through it. So once again, the resources there. Don't get seduced by the noise of the quick fixes and the special supplements and the orange juice cleanses that'll fix your gut. Like, it's just not going to work. Focus on the core, focus on the macro, focus on what's a mover, and you can really work to circumvent and work around this, and spend some time understanding yourself. If you had a bad day, analyze why that happened. Was it because you weren't like spending time thinking about how you were feeling? Can you journal back and reflect and improve on that next time? Like, this is a constant journey. Don't be scared of it. Embrace it. And this is something we do with our clients. And if you are struggling, we are online fitness coaches with over 5,000 transformations. We'd love to work with you one-on-one and give you your guaranteed results. So that link's up there. I know that was a lot, but I did want to touch on this because I think it definitely needed to be brought up.
Yeah, and even just like when it comes to these tips, you can take what's actually going to work for you and apply it, right? There will be a million different weight loss tips, as you can see even here, and it's okay to take a few and be like, hey, this may not work. I've tried this, but I'm going to take these ones and give it a shot, right? So I do like the principle of like thinking about like what tips are actually there and like applying it for your situation. But I'm glad Josh spent time on that, because I see a lot of reels as well where there's people promoting healthy habits and just these things that are like positively pushing you in the right direction, and like different food swaps. And then there's so many people in the comment section just being like eating disorder and like that's not actually good for you, or like you're encouraging someone to be healthy young, or like, and people will just have something to say about it. But it's just like at the end of the day, it's so important to take these things and like evaluate what actually makes sense, but at the same time just realizing that a lot of these there's an issue out there in the industry, like in the world, there's like an obesity epidemic. There's so many unhealthy habits and diseases and so much other stuff. And a lot of these tips on like these healthy food swaps and these great habits to implement are actually, for the most part, going to benefit a lot of people, although there can be that risk of an eating disorder depending on how you take it. And what Josh said was so true. So I wanted to pop off on that as well. Now, next up, and last but not least, simply go on walks. Even just for 5 minutes a day at first, get your body moving and create that habit. It'll grow and eventually lead to daily exercise. Then you can focus on changing your eating habits, make sustainable changes at a time. So I really like this because it brought me back to number 8, where it just said, commit to what you can do and slowly build up. And I really, really like that this person had said, like, just starting with 5 minutes, because I love the 5-minute rule, especially for those of you who struggle with building up a habit. It makes such a big difference to take it for 5 minutes. Hey, I'm going to just start with that. I'm going to go on a 5-minute walk, 5 minutes, and you feel momentum, right? And then you want to do 10, then you want to do 15. And then same with eating healthy. I'm going to start with 1 meal. Boom, leads to 2. Same with going to the gym. I'm going to start with Monday this week and we'll see how it goes. All right, then you start to crave it on Tuesday. So I really like this principle, and I also enjoy that walking, I truly believe, is one of the greatest forms of cardio. I won't jump into this because a lot of you know that's my favorite form, but this alone I found a really, really great tip.
So there you have it. That's us reacting, and I'm proud. Honestly, Reddit can be an interesting place, and you can get a lot of tomfoolery in there. But all in all, there were some really great tips. And once again, we break down this in way more detail. We lightly touch on things because we wanted this to be a snappier, more fun-based episode. But if you really want to learn what you need to do to lose fat, free ebook there. I think it's like 40 pages. 33 pages, and it's nicely done, designer, all that. Like I said, we spent money for it. We're going to charge for it in the future, but for now, that's our gift to you. Just hit us up on Instagram at Colossusfit, COLOSSUSFIT. Just know you don't have to struggle. It doesn't have to be complicated. If you're looking for a coach, we'd love to work with you and get you the results you deserve as well. You can check out our website. But thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you have a phenomenal day, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.